What's up guys, my name is Tom, welcome back to another video, and today here for another reaction video of the F1 2020 cars that are being released in these last few days. Today we have the Racing Point, but it's not the version that was shown in the release day, is the version that they are going to use throughout the season. It was kind of revealed, I can say, during the first day that happened today at pre-season testing at Barcelona. And let me say, this car is a Mercedes from last year, and a lot of people already said that in the first second that we saw the car, and it has so many similarities with the Mercedes W10 that I don't know. I'm already wondering if this car is going to be like in P4 on the constructors, because it looks so planted when it comes to downforce. The car looks so planted on the tarmac. If you didn't see the onboard that they put it, I'm not the only one thinking about it. But we're going to already skip to the analysis, and I usually do like comparing to last year's car, but I'm going to do things a little bit different today, and we're going to compare to the Mercedes W10. In other words, we're going to compare this year's Racing Point with the last year's Mercedes, and you're going to see there are so many similarities when it comes to this car. So we're going to start from this view. At the top you have the 2019 Mercedes, the W10, and here we have the Racing Point that was shown today. That is at Barcelona. The Racing Point looks like this, and by the first view, if I remove the lines, you could see that it's very similar. Starting with the nose cone that is highlighted in yellow. Look at the shape of the nose. It's so similar. We have like the Racing Point looks a little bit more slimmer, to be honest. It's not it's not equal, the right word, but the Racing Point nose cone is a little bit more thinner than the Mercedes. But then you have that little stretch, and then it enlarges and makes that round shape, just like the Mercedes from last year. And that was the first thing that I saw, that I remember the Mercedes when I saw this car. The first thing that made me remember the Mercedes was definitely the nose cone, because it's basically the same. They stretch just a little bit like Renault did. I'm going to do the analysis video of Renault tomorrow. I should post. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, the similarity is there. And now jump to another thing, and they introduced once again winglets. This is not the first time that we're seeing this in the F1 team. I said this a million times in these last few videos where I'm analyzing the cars, and you can see highlighted in green, and definitely they have the same winglets as the Mercedes, at the same position even, at the same position. But Mercedes has, after the number of Hamilton, has that little depression that I'm not entirely sure if it is, but let me know in the comments if it is. A little airbox. You have like a little depression, then goes up a little bit, and then the nose cone continues a little bit. The Racing Point doesn't have that by the looks of it. Maybe the color is confusing my brain, and I can see and I can't see that depression. But I'm entirely sure that the Racing Point doesn't have that spot. So here's a difference comparing to the Mercedes. And now we're going to switch to the cascades of the front wing, and this is 100% equal to Mercedes. You're going to see, starting at the top, you have the first cascade. Then you look at the Racing Point. Yes, it is equal, so maybe it's normal because that's a normal design. But now is where things get interesting, because look at the second cascade of the Mercedes. It continues, then it makes like a V at the side at the end of the cascade, before coming back to the front wing end plate. Now look at the Racing Point. It's exactly the same. And when I saw this, okay, this has to be a Mercedes W10 with some changes to not generate a lot of controversy, which it didn't happen. It was a lot of controversy today in the paddock, because it's obviously teams work so hard to make the car so fast, and by the looks of it, Racing Point didn't put as much work as the midfield teams like Renault and McLaren. And this part of the front wing really not shocked me, but really impressed me, because it's 100% equal to the Mercedes, the same as the mirrors highlighted in red as well. They have the wing at the top, but that's not very alarming, because a lot of teams have wings at the top of the mirrors. But there's another difference. You see the top of the airbox, they have like some I don't know if these are sensors, they are other airboxes. Some people just bantering, saying that were Pink Fantas here's, but that's a difference. The Mercedes doesn't have that. You can see the crosses on the Mercedes image. Then let's take a close look at Cielo. It's basically the same. It's the same as the Mercedes, with the exception that if you're seeing the column at the center of the cockpit, then it separates the two blue lines, as you can see. Then it has a little gap before starting the other part of the yellow, I can say. The racing point doesn't happen that, sorry. And the below part is more homogeneous, there's no gaps. And then finally in the barge bolts, highlighted in blue as well, is 100% is basically the Mercedes, is what I'm trying to say. Now let's switch to this view of the car. There's not much to talk because there was a lot of things to talk about in this last image. So the first thing that I noticed was the airbox at the side. You can see that the racing point is so much smaller than the Mercedes. It's highlighted in green, by the way. And then you go to the barge boat, and the part that is in the JCB logo and the Petronas logo of the Racing Point and Mercedes respectively. You can see that basically it's the same, but then you switch, you go a little bit further below, and these are not the turning vanes, but it's very close to the turning vanes. You can see that Racing Point has a column at the vertical, then it has two very little thin columns at the horizontal, free, that is parallel to each other. And Mercedes has a very different concept, that is not even two parts, is just one, then it's divided by two slice in the horizontal, and then the left hand side is divided in the horizontal. So that was not many differences, but you can see that is very similar to Mercedes, and I think you can see more from this point of view. And finally, it's the on-board view. I know that these lines are not perfect. I just want to apologize because I'm so tired today and I'm not having a lot of patience, but I'm making this sacrifice to make this video to you guys because your support has been absolutely insane in these last few days. Take a close look at Yellow. Mercedes has that two wings, I should say. I'm not entirely sure if they are really wings, but in my opinion, I consider these wings. You can see two, and then below that you have the normal halo. And in the Racing Point, it has the same thing. I know that they're not very clear. It's very clear the top and the one in front, but then the second you can't really see because of the quality of the image, but you can clearly see that another wing starts, and you can see on the left, yes, it is the left hand side. You can see two wings, and one of them starting, and then is the same story at the Mercedes. Then the side of the car, you can see that it makes it's not a it stretches a little bit the halo, and it happens the same thing as a Racing Point. And as you can see, the winglets are in the exactly same position as the Mercedes. Okay, the onboard camera is in a different perspective slightly, but you can clearly see that it's exactly in the same place. So I don't know, I suspect I'm 95% sure that this is a Mercedes W10, and the relation between Racing Point and Mercedes has been stronger year by year. They are their engine supplier for a very long time, and this is no surprise. It happened between Ferrari and Haas. It wasn't that confirmed officially, but the 2018 Haas clearly look like the 2017 Ferrari, but just a halo. And a more stronger argument was a 2019 Haas that looks so much like the 2018 Ferrari, which it wasn't a very good car. Maybe that is a responsibility from Haas, because Ferrari in 2018 was a good car, but we're seeing this once again, this time with Mercedes and Racing Point. I don't know if this is going to be investigated by FIA, because I consider this illegal, because there's a lot of teams working hard to go up in the field, and Racing Point, it doesn't seem that they made that much work. It was just copy the Mercedes. Who knows that Mercedes gave them files about the car? I don't know. I'm just making some conspiracy, but I don't know. Probably there's going to be an investigation. Let me know your thoughts about you guys about this. And I'm going to finish the video here, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to smash like and subscribe channel if you want to see plenty more Formula 1 content. It really motivates me to make more. If you could do that, I would be very thankful. And tomorrow I'm going to try my best to post the Renault video, the analysis of the Renault, and hopefully I'm going to come back to the normal format of the channel, that is F1 gaming. But once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support that you guys are giving to this channel in these last few days. You guys are absolutely insane, and the best I can do is saying thank you and give you the best content as I can. Make sure to follow me on social media, Instagram and Twitter, all that stuff. The links are in the description, and in the description as well, sorry, are the analysis of the cars. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. My name's Tom, and I'll see you guys for a brand new video next time. But for now, it's goodbye.